Hey there, welcome to my channel. I'm Christy. If you are new, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back to the grow room. It is a little bit empty in here today. I do actually have a few things going that I will be planting in our tower garden and also planting in some soil under grow lights, and that is lettuce and cucumbers. But we're not talking about that in this video. This video is actually about what I have planted on the flower farm in the fall, this fall. So we have spring blooms. Now, if you've been following along, you know that I have planted approximately 9,000 bulbs this fall. And so those are going to be for our spring crops. And I'm just going to give you an update of what tulips I had planted. So if you want to see these later in reference to some of the varieties I'm talking about, I do have them on my website at hotchkissflowerfarm.ca, and you'll be able to look through all of the stuff that I'm growing here on our farm in northern Alberta, growing zone 2. Even though these plants are not listed as zone 2 plants, they do grow here, and so you'll be able to see what I have success growing by what is on my website, so check it out if you want to. Something that I did this year that I didn't do last year was I ordered a lot more bulk mixes. So I ordered varieties that were not just cases of 100. I wanted larger quantities of specific types of varieties, and the cheapest way and most efficient way for me was to order them in mixes. Usually the mixes come sorted anyways, so they're not technically mixed, they're just boxes in bulk for that blend when you order from companies like Van Noort, which was ideal for me because some of them I did mix as landscape and some of the other ones I mixed as color blocking, so I could easily harvest those for my florists and stay within my ease of work when it comes to harvesting by color blocking. So of course I wanted to have some blends so that I could try to dress up my yard a little bit, because I'm planning to do some events here, more so of farm visits, and that was kind of my idea behind it. But it was the cheapest option, the bottom line. One of the first mixes that I ordered, the photos of this mix, they don't do it any justice. To be completely honest, when you see these two together, this blend of tulips together, it is absolutely stunning. And I wish that the photos would do it more justice. But this mix it's called Sweet English Rose. And now Sweet English Rose is made up of a variety of two double peony type tulips that are absolutely stunning. One of them I grew last year, and it was more of a white color with color changing ability. So it actually started out really light, and then it started to darken and ruffle and get a little bit of darkness and multi-tones throughout the petals. This was called Double Shirley, and it's a beautiful tulip. I only grew it once last year, so I'm really excited to be bringing that back. The other flower, the other double peony tulip that is in this mix of the Sweet English Rose, it's called Charming Beauty. I have not grown this one before, but it is a really pretty pink. Sometimes I've heard it can go a little bit more corally or like a dusty kind of color, so it depends probably on the soil's pH and the growing conditions and the temperature. So I'm really excited to see what this blend will do for me here up in my northern climate, where the flowers do a lot of different things here than what they do in other places. The colors of my tulips, the same variety ordered from the same place at the same time, because of my growing conditions, often will have a different color or different things about it, different scent, different stuff happens to them based on my location compared to somebody else. So I did notice that. Actually, a grower friend of mine, we've actually shared bulbs before, and her growing conditions and my growing conditions create two totally different unique tulips, even though it was the same bulb variety. So interested to see what that does here for us in the spring. The next variety I did order as a bulk mix, And that variety, it's a blend called Joyful Hearts. The reason I wanted to order it is because I wanted a big bulk amount of copper image, which is something that us here in Canada, we've been having a little bit of trouble getting our hands on that beautiful tulip. It is a double tulip. It's very popular. Obviously, if you follow some of the other flower farmers, you know about copper image. It is gorgeous. It is very, very sought after by some of my florist friends. So it is a very unique color of tulip that sometimes has a very unique type of color profile here compared to other places. So I was really disappointed when I ordered this mix that it was back ordered. I did get half of this mix, which was its counterpart in this blend, and that tulip is called Amazing Grace. Now, Amazing Grace is amazing. It is a beautiful full double peony tulip type. This is a fragranted mix of tulips. They have a very nice scent, which is something that a lot of people, when they came to my farm, they did not know that tulips actually had a scent. The people in the north part of my region here, they haven't really experienced real tulips before, and even the regular non-peony type tulips having an aroma or having a scent, they did not know that that was possible until I started to bring in some of these varieties that were more a little bit broader than in the horizon of what we have been able to grow up here. So I'm really excited to see what this is going to be like at our flower farm events and how people are going to respond to them, especially when I have a bouquet bar. I'm really interested to see how this Amazing Grace tulip will do. I did also plant a variety, a blend called Starlight, and it does have two types of tulips in it as well. They're purple. The one is purple and white, and the other one is it's a parrot tulip. I don't know the varieties, so I'm not going to quote you, but I did plant these. They are technically zone 4. I planted these outside in my zone 2. I'm going to see how they do, and if they come up really strong, I think they're going to be 100% fine. I've been assured that they are going to be 100% fine. I know other people that have grown this type of variety before, so I'm super excited to see how that handles it. Of course, I brought back the rainbow mix. Now, the rainbow mix is something I always seem to be ordering. It's like a 750 bulb package that I order. And I was a little sticker shock though that the prices of these bulbs have increased drastically from the year before to this year, ridiculously price hike. And of course, it's no fault of my supplier. It is just the fault of the economy and all of the things that it costs to make things go round these days. So I was going to put in 2 boxes of these, so about 1,500 of these tulips, but I only put in 750 more. I already have 750 in the farm from a previous order. So there's a lot of those type of rainbow tulips I'm looking forward to. The other blend I have was a Prince Trio blend. Now, I think I ended up color blocking these and not putting them as a trio, but the 3 tulip varieties, these are single tulips, but this trio, this Prince Trio, it has the 3 Prince varieties of tulips. So we have Candy Prince, Purple Prince, and Yellow Prince. It's Sunny Prince, sorry. Now, Pineapple Express is basically a repeat. I ordered these as a blend, and I also ordered these as for color blocking in like bulk orders, like bulk cases. The reason I did this is because these were supposed to be going on a different location where my farm was going to be taking on its shape in a different location. Those plans will change. Like, remember, I have to order these bulbs 6 months in advance. Well, actually, sometimes I have to order some of these bulbs 1 year in advance. So I don't know You know, I can't always predict my future of where the farm is going to go from here. So I am looking at this and thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't have, but I'm really glad it worked out this way, because this blend gave me enough of this to fill out the cut flower side, or the kind of like a U-pick side of the farm, which is something that I'm also going to be adding. So the colors of these are an orange and a yellow. You'll see these a lot in, like, You Can't Eat the Grass. They use a lot of these tulips. So the blend of these two tulip varieties, Sun Lover and Yellow Pomponette. Now, Yellow Pomponette and Sun Lover are two that I had also, like I said, brought in cases. I have planted those separate from this blend in a different area of the farm. And so I have double clicked on these, I guess, essentially. And so I have these in the farm twice, but that's okay. The other variety I have planted is Foxy Foxtrot. Now, I have most of the varieties of Foxy Foxtrot, or the Foxtrot varieties, but this one I'm kind of going in the palette of the color scheme that I got going on. This one's sort of, I would say it's more of like a peachy, yellowy, I don't know, pinky. It has a different hues. And again, it's going to depend on your growing conditions. This one will look different if you grow it on grow shelves like these and force them than you would outside or allowing them to come up in the spring. It just depends on the conditions, how the colors they show up as. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that in the farm. The double Gudoshnik, oh my goodness. This one is a color changing one, I believe it is, and it is a very full tulip. I think it's going to have a very similar profile to Freeman, the tulip I fell in love with last year. I think it's going to be very comparable. I really like this tulip, and I'm looking forward to having it in the farm and seeing how full and beautiful it is. I think it can go in so many directions with color blending. I'm really looking forward to it. I have an orange one called Orange Monty, or Monty Orange. I have a horse named Monty and now a tulip named Monty. Another one that I'm really excited about is Red Foxtrot. Now, Red Foxtrot is red of the Foxtrot varieties. Now, the Foxtrot varieties are actually pretty good for forcing, even though I didn't keep any for forcing indoors. This is something that I may consider for next year, depending on how I like this tulip. I'm just kind of trialing this one this year, but I love the red color it is, and it's fragranted. I should also mention that Monty Orange is also a fragranced tulip. My pronunciation, I tell you these days. Okay, another beautiful red one is Miranda. I really like this tulip, and it is also fragranted. It has one of the blooms on it. It's more of like the closed, I don't know how to word it. It's like, it's not like blown open. It has more of a structured bloom. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that texture compares to some of the other red type tulips. I love variations of texture with similar color profiles of tulips. I really love the look of that, and so do many of my clients. So I like to experiment with the different textures of tulip, and Miranda seemed to be one that I had to order because of the texture. It was just really beautiful, the way it looked, and so I'm looking forward to that. Abba is another scented double that I brought in that is red. It's a little bit lighter of a red than Miranda, from what I can tell. I'm not sure. Again, I think it would be growing conditions, but that is one that I had brought in the red profile. Lady Van Eyck is, well, last year I grew Lady Van Eyck. Now, Lady Van Eyck is a good landscape flower, but what was interesting last year is that Lady Van Eyck was supposed to be one of my later blooming tulips, and it ended up being my first to bloom on the farm, which blew my mind. And it had such beautiful blooms that were enormous, and they lasted forever. I really love this tulip, and I should have brought in a lot more than I did, but anyway, I brought that one in this year as well. Cranberry Kiss was the one that at my bouquet bar, it stopped people in their tracks to smell them, and it was disbelief because this tulip literally does smell like cranberries. It has this hint, or this cranberry kiss, of this aroma with it when you smell it. And nobody believed me when I was talking about it on my social media. I think I made a post about it on Instagram, and they're like, "You're so full of it. Tulips don't smell like cranberries." And then some people had stopped in, they smelt it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, she wasn't making it up. It really does smell like cranberry." A beautiful tulip, and I wish I would have bought like 300 more of these. I think that next year I might, but because I have some other more moody type tulips, I wanted to bring in those ones instead. So I was trying different varieties instead of just putting all of my money on one type of tulip. So maybe the year after, we'll see. It's hard to beat a tulip that smells like cranberries. It really is. So Amazing Grace is one we talked about already. I did bring that in as an individual flower as well as Foxtrot, which kind of can be darker around the edges of the petal and softer pink color on the inside of the petals. The petals tend to be two-toned with the Foxtrot, and it usually is variations of pinks that this tulip shows up as. Sometimes though, I have seen it where it's been so pale it's almost white, but I think that's to do with growing conditions. The next one that I ordered in is called Avaron. Now Avaron is this beautiful pink color. It starts with a dark, kind of almost like a bubblegum pink, just like a deeper pink, deeper bubblegum pink. And then it contrasts or gradients out to the outer petals to be really light pink or almost white, and it is absolutely stunning. Avaron is a stunning tulip, and I'm really looking forward to it. It doesn't really have much of an aroma that I know, like some of the other doubles, but I think that this would be a good tulip for hospital arrangements. I think it's very, very pretty and very elegant. Very elegant. The next one I purchased is called Fantasy Lady. Now this one is more of it's more of a contrasted two-tone petal. It has a beautiful pink inner petal, or like middle section of the petal, and then towards the outside of the petal it goes to more of a really light pink, or sometimes more white or even cream. I've seen people show pictures and it looks like it was a cream color on the outside, but I think for the most part, to be more true, it's like white or a light pink on the outside edge of the tulip. It is not fragrance, that does not have a fragrance that I know of. It may have some sort of a scent a little bit, but not like the other ones where it's really fragrant. Queen of Night. I think I have about 24 or 2,500 Queen of Night growing on the farm for next year, for next spring. So there's a lot of Queen of Night. I have the jumbo varieties and then the regular, like some of the smaller bulbs. So I'm really looking forward to having those again. They go with every single thing. I could put that in every single order to every florist and put it in every bouquet bar. And like I could fill 3 buckets at a bouquet bar of just that, and it'll always go. They're really great cut flower. The Allison Bradley, this one, oh, I'm really regretting not ordering 3 cases. I should have ordered 300 of these. Allison Bradley is one that if you were to force it under grow lights, it comes up in like 12 days, like after you do your cold stratification, and then after you root them, after you do your steps and phases to the point where you can get them onto the grow shelves. They will, from the time they go from their rooting stage or their dark period, where you hold them at 10 to 15 degrees Celsius in the dark, after they've been in the fridge, you take them and you put them on your grow shelf and they start to grow. Usually it's about 14 days, either hydroponically or in soil, under grow lights that they will, 12 to 14 days, they will actually bloom. So I'm really regretting not getting 300 of these so that I could force them for Valentine's Day. But by the time I was able to do my order, it was too late for me to hit that target. So what I would have to do is order my tulips really, 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 really early or really, really late so that I can get them in for the following season or get them in for the previous season, or like early in the season, so I can get them cold stratified. So they need like they need over 14 weeks of cold stratification. That means below 5 degrees Celsius. So I think it could be 16 weeks that they need in the cold. So I just didn't have enough time for it to work for me to get them for my target date. But next year, I'm going to do it somehow. I will find a way. The next one that's a very similar to the Allison Bradley in looks, which is, I love this one because it is so, it has this graffiti kind of look to it. It's called Palmyra, I think so. So it's that moody look, and instead of it having the pointy kind of, some of the pointed more of like the pointed or rough edged on the top of the tulip like the Allison Bradley. This one's more of a smooth rounded, and it has more of a deeper moody kind of like a red wine, deep red wine color to it, with these burgundy type petals. They're really, really pretty. But what I love about this tulip is on the bottom side of it, it's green coming up. I don't know the name of that, but there's green veining, or the green outside, and then it starts to color in, which I really love the look of that. And it just breaks up that moodiness and just gives something bright and makes it a little bit more of a focal, in my opinion, and it doesn't get lost in that deepness. It frames it in a little bit. So I'm really looking forward to that. I did get Mango Charm this year. I wasn't going to order Mango Charm, but one of my florists had her heart set on it, so I did order it in. So it is like a peachy color, peachy yellowy, kind of creamy. It's kind of got all the things going on. It's a gradient type of single tulip. It's very pretty. And I think it pairs really well with the Van Eycks, the Salmon Van Eyck and the Mystic Van Eyck. This tulip can really run with those. The Salmon Van Eyck and the Mystic Van Eyck are both in the lineup. The Salmon Van Eyck is more of a salmony color, and the Mystic Van Eyck, I think this is one of my all-time favorites. The Mystic Van Eyck is it reminds me of unicorns. If I was to pick any tulip that would represent a unicorn, the colors of this tulip makes me think unicorns. I don't know why, if it's just the gradient color of it, but it's like this blue purpley gradient into this beautiful pink. It's just so sweet and just absolutely stunning. It was one of my favorites all year last year. I loved that tulip, and I even used it on my business cards. I loved it so much. It's gorgeous. Another variety that I brought in is called Apricot Parrot. Now, the Apricot Parrot is a parrot tulip, and it's apricot in color. And I'm not a fan of parrot tulips, but I'm bringing them in because I need to learn to grow them. And they are technically a zone 4. So I need to figure out how I'm going to do this. But for the most part, I do have my tulips. My parrot tulips are actually refrigerated. I have these guys. I'm going to force them in crates. So they've been in the refrigerator since the 3rd week of October, I think it is. So yeah. Then I also have Disneyland Paris is ones that I had ordered from before. They're also growing in the farm. They're not my favorite. I don't like Disneyland Paris. I didn't last year, but I do have them. They have ridiculously long stems, and I'm looking forward to having those great big long stems available again. But they're just, I think the reason I didn't like them is because I had them planted next to Freeman, and Freeman, oh my God. I love Freeman. I think for the double tulips, there's Cranberry Kiss and Freeman are way up there in what woos me in the garden. And it's like, actually Freeman was the one that I mostly spent the most time taking photos of and videos of and smelling and doing all the things with it. Like, I loved Freeman. I love this tulip. It has all the colors. It changes colors throughout the season as it ages. It's stunning. It's this beautiful full double peony type. And it starts out with green on the bottom, which really is a beautiful contrast. And it goes into like these pinks and peaches and oranges. And it's just like, it's stunning. Amber Glow is one that I had an order from before. I didn't reorder from Van Noort this year, but I did have this ordered in from before. And I do have those growing on the farm as well. So they are a gradient type. So they start on the bottom, they are like a yellow, and then they work their way up to more of a darker wine color. They were beautiful. They were very gorgeous, and when you look at them, they look like an amber glow, like you would think, yeah, fiery kind of tulip. They were not my favorite, but they were loved by some people, and I definitely am happy to have them growing on the farm. So they weren't personally my favorite, but they were definitely loved by many that had visited the farm and who had gotten flowers from here. So Roko is Roko. That. So this one is all kinds of moody, all kinds of strange. It looks like a weird cabbage. I'm not a fan of parrots, but I am growing this one. When I grow it, I'll probably love it. It's also a zone 4, which I'm a zone 2, so we'll see. I do have this one though in my refrigerator, and don't worry, I do experiment with these. I did not sell any of these colder or the zone 2 or the zone 4s. I didn't sell any to anybody. I do experiment with them to see if they can handle our winters, but anywhere I had any of these less cold tolerant tulips, I mulched them with an extra 6 inches of leaves, and we do have snow on top and make sure there's no traffic over them, and they're really good. So Blue Amable, oh my god, Blue Amable is literally, I love Blue Amable. If you compare like Queen of Night, how it has that iridescent look to it where it kind of shimmers, Blue Amable has that as well, but it's that unicorn color. It's that pink and purple, that just beautiful, sweet little princess kind of look to it. Gorgeous. I love those. I brought back Secret Perfume again this year. This one smells to me like neroli, which is bitter orange blossom. Sometimes it's very spicy, it's overpowering. It can be way too much, kind of like Sweet Annie where it's overpowering. That can be the same way. Mondial is a beautiful white double, and this one is scented, and I have a lot of these in the farm. Mount Tacoma, I have, I think, 300 of these planted on the farm. They're nice. They are the beautiful big white fluffy tulip of it, like a double peony, very crisp white, and then they have green veining up the side, so they're very pretty. So that basically sums up the tulips. I do have anemones and ranunculus as well, but I think I'm going to do those in a separate video. I have Van Noort ordered them as well as unicorn blooms, so I think I'm going to do those in a separate video because this one might just get way too long. So I am not growing any of my tulips in the greenhouse this year. The reason for that is because I had a very large tomato explosion in the greenhouse, and I didn't get them all picked. And what happened is lots of the tomatoes fell on the ground, and I didn't get them picked in time. So they're starting to get worked into the ground. And it was just, there was so much going on this fall that I just didn't get it all cleaned out. What happens with tulips is that whenever there is food that ripens, like tomatoes or apples or cabbage, they will let off a gas, right? An ethylene gas, and that will actually create or make the tulip bulbs to abort. So I don't have any tulips planted in the greenhouse. What I do have planted in the greenhouse though is I have left the living roots of half of my ranunculus. So the ranunculus that I had grew in the greenhouse last year that I planted out in January, I have left half of those in the greenhouse because they had proven that they were cold hardy enough to withstand negative 50 degrees Celsius wind chills with the precautions that I had put in place. Like I mulched them and I had all different things on top of them to prevent them from freezing too hard or getting to those temperatures. I have left them in there and I am going to do the same thing. They're mulched. I'm going to cover them with row covers, make sure that they're nice and insulated and that where they are buried, they're not going to be touched by those 50 degrees Celsius wind chills, minus 50 degrees Celsius wind chills. So I just wanted to let you know that that is one of the things that I did do in planting as an experiment to see how they're going to do in our extreme climate. If I can do that without heat in my greenhouse and how early they will come up if they do. They might winter kill. I might have mice move in there and they might eat them all because I have so many tomatoes. But the bright side is that with all the tomatoes, my feral barn cats have some place to go and hunt. So I'm looking forward to having those mice eliminated by our barn crew. But basically, the farm is ready to go. I'm ready for the snow to start coming and start burying the beds up with snow as an insulator. And I'm just ready for winter to arrive and put on its magical show of snow. So we'll talk about tulips next year. We'll see these varieties hopefully in May and June. We'll get to see all these in person. So if you're local, you'll be able to come out to the farm, and if not, I'll share it on the video so you can see from afar. But anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that this inspired you to try different varieties and think outside the box when it comes to what you can grow. Just because it's suggested that you should grow in a specific zone, if you do take precautions like mulching and eliminating foot traffic and not disturbing your soil too much, having healthy soil, you can grow a lot more than you think you can. So anyway, much love, you guys. Oh, I have a visitor. Reggie, do you want inside? Do you want in? Come on. Come on. Come on. It was snowy. Come on. What are you doing? Silly boy. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now.